Oh boy, am I excited for this one. If you guys love a perfectly cooked, juicy steak as much as I do, then you're definitely in the right place, because here I'm going to show you how to flawlessly cook a steak at home every time, just like they do in the steakhouses. Because with this technique I'm going to show you, you're going to be able to get edge to edge medium rare every time. Now just look at this beautiful steak. It's about 3.5 pounds or around 48 ounces of beautifully marbled beef. And now we're going to season her up really well with a lot of salt and pepper. People generally don't salt or pepper their steaks enough. You got to realize that this is about 3.5 inches thick, so she's definitely thick enough and can handle a good amount of seasoning. And you also got to remember, this seasoning doesn't actually penetrate through the meat. So when you cut it up, you're only going to get a little slither of whatever seasoning you put on the outside. And when you're dealing with an expensive prime cut of steak like this, you're definitely only going to want to use salt and pepper. Now, how am I going to cook a massive steak like this to a perfect medium rare to medium temperature throughout while achieving a nice crispy edge? Well, I'm going to bake it first at a really low temperature in an oven for around 2 hours. Now that's going to be different for everyone, especially depending on your oven and how cold your steak is going in. Because that's right, this steak is actually going in somewhat frozen, and that's actually perfectly fine when you're cooking a steak with this method because of how slowly the steak's going to come up to temperature. And that temperature for me is going to be 125 degrees Fahrenheit, and that'll give me just enough leeway for me to sear this steak very well on the outside while not surpassing the 135 degree medium rare internal temperature. Now, after coming out of the oven, you can see she's not really that appealing, so we're actually going to take her outside and throw her on the grill to get a nice sear on the outside. Now, because the internal temperature is already going to be at medium rare, you really just want to get a really good sear, so you want to make sure those coals are right up against the grates. That way it gets really hot, and that way you get a nice crispy outside edge. Now, I am by no means a grill master, but when the weather's this nice, why not just find every excuse to spend as much time outside as possible? But definitely feel free to leave in the comments section any tips or tricks I could use to improve my grilling abilities, because it's certainly going to be a long summer. Now, I actually filmed this on Memorial Day, hence the attire. But with my patriotism put to the side for a second, what's going to make this more better is more butter. So while we let this steak rest, we're going to put some knobs of butter on top, and as it rests, it's just going to absorb that butter and just make it taste absolutely fantastic. And as we cut into this, you'll see that we have indeed reached our perfect medium rare throughout the entire steak, with only the very edges being well cooked, and dare I say, crispy. But better yet, look how juicy this steak is as I cut into it. I mean, this is why you really want to be patient, especially when you've gone through this entire process. It's almost been about 3 hours since I started, and you don't want to cut into this too early, otherwise all the juices will just run out and you'll lose them all. And with adequate time to rest, you get a perfectly juicy steak. And with all of that being said and shown, thank you guys so much for watching. This one was incredibly fun because we got to go outside to film, and it was just a new experience. So definitely leave a comment down below if you want to see me do some more outdoors cooking. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe, and follow us on Instagram for some future videos. And with peace and love, cook on, guys.